Welcome to RANsquawk's EU morning briefing. Just gone to 8:30 now on the 4th of June. So, looking at the markets, equities after a marginal positive start in Europe, obviously looking to pare back some of the losses we did see on Wall Street yesterday. Fixed income is lower at the moment, obviously partly weighed upon by that minor strength in stocks, but also we do have around 8 to 9 billion euros worth coming out of France and Spain in auctions there to come at around 9:30 to 10:30 period London time. So again, it has weighed. Short setting takes place this morning at the open. In terms of actual news flow, it's been quite dominated in terms of still the currencies very much in focus. Firstly, for the dollar, that continues to get attention in the press across the world. People still questioning the global role as a reserve currency. In particular, a piece in the Wall Street Journal citing some comments out of the Malaysian Prime Minister, who has been quoted as saying that China and his country are considering conducting their trade in Chinese yuan and Malaysian ringgit, joining a growing number of countries thinking of phasing out the dollar. That's coming even in spite of some Bernanke comments trying to reassure the market after he said the reserve status of the dollar is not at risk at his testimony yesterday on Capitol Hill. Elsewhere, just sticking on the FX theme for the time being, we did see Swedish banks open lower this morning. Again, quite a lot of fear following the sharp falls we saw yesterday after a failed auction of Latvian treasury bills. This is reigniting some fears on banks' exposure in terms of the Baltic regions. Again, that's highlighting some fears and concerns that Latvia could have to devalue its currency, again weighing on those banks due to the past few days, due to billions of crowns worth of loans extended by the banks in that region. However, we have seen in the last 15 minutes or so partly retracement of those earlier moves as some of those Swedish banks move into minor positive territory now, and the Swedish krona, after weakening early, does come back slightly now to trade pretty much flat against the euro. Looking elsewhere in terms of news-wise, a few pieces from overnight. A report coming out from Fitch Ratings Agency. They comment on both the UK and the US. Fitch confident the US and UK can back their AAA sovereign rating. They'll be able to readjust their economies and recover. And no evidence China moving away from US Treasuries, world economy to stabilise in the second half. Again, should be somewhat reassuring for the markets in terms of when the US players come in, the fact that Fitch in that report do comment again that China moving away, or there's no evidence of China moving away in terms of US Treasury purchases. Elsewhere, obviously, the jobs report that is due tomorrow in terms of the latest employment index to come out of the US. That was the monster for the US. The index for May did weaken further. The outlook fell to 118 from 120 previous in April. Obviously, for today in UK and Europe, it's very much central bank day. We're going to be looking out for the Bank of England decision. That's at 12 o'clock London time. Analysts very much expecting rates to remain on hold at 0.5%. And for the moment, the MPC in the UK to remain on hold in terms of any potential expansions further down the line on their QE programme. In particular, an opinion piece that does get followed in the UK, the Times MPC, they voted unanimously in terms of telling the bank to beware false dawns and wait before their next move. And then also at 12:45 we'll see the ECB conducting their interest rate decision. Analysts again expecting rates to remain on hold, and then we're going to be looking out for any further details in regards to the 60 billion euros worth of covered bond purchases. Again, the market will be looking at how exactly the fine-tuning of how that will be conducted. Elsewhere then, just to round off, looking ahead, coming up to 9 o'clock now in London, we're going to be eyeing the UK housing market with the Halifax house price numbers for the month of May. That will take us through as well to Eurozone retail sales due at 10 o'clock. Those interest rate decisions, UK BOE at 12, ECB at 12:45, and then from the US today we'll get further jobs numbers, initial jobless continuing claims, and then we'll be eyeing the Bank of Canada interest rate decision. That is also due today at 2 o'clock London time.